Wow.
Look ahead, the sea is calm, and I know we've been through a lot, but just wait. Wait for better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn.
Hey, good morning guys. Hope everybody's doing really well. I'm super stoked actually, getting right to work on the boat. I got a super early start this morning to try and beat the heat, which apparently is not possible because it's 95 degrees already at 6:30 in the morning. We have a ton of projects to do. Several of them are going to last over a few months, like the rain collection, that's big, but I'm going to concentrate on 6 main projects over the next month, try and get the boat actually ready to sail when Eric and I get back down here, and then the rest can kind of linger and we'll do underway. So those 6 that I want to show you are the motors. We're going to service those, do a real good service. I'm going to pull the injectors and have those sent off, and then I'm going to do the valve job, all the oils, fluids, filters, that kind of thing. The next big one, this is huge, is the solar panel. We're doing 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 new panels, which will be divided into 4 individual sets with 4 solar controllers. That way if one of them gets shaded, there's 3 other systems that'll still be powering the batteries. So that's awesome. That'll be a lot of wiring, a lot of work. That's probably one of the biggest. Another thing is these access panels into areas that are empty, like this. Big old cavities that we can be using for storage. So I'll be mounting that, getting some of our stuff put away. There's a few of those to put in. New kitchen sink. You can't really tell because it's full of stuff, but it goes right here because we have such a bigger space and still a real small sink. So gonna make it easier on Eric and I to cook and do dishes. So new sink goes in there. Another great thing is this is our freezer, and they're not well insulated actually. They're pretty efficient 12-volt units, but they need more insulation. So I'm adding foam to the actual unit, and then I'm insulating the cavity, and I'm adding fans to those, and I'm doing the same thing. This is the fridge. I'm going to pull that, insulate the shell, insulate the cavity, and add fans, and then it's just going to make it way more efficient. And then the last thing is the ground tackle. This was really important to do for us. We got our chain re-galvanized. We got a brand new Rockna, a heavy duty Rockna that we're super stoked on. We live by that thing, you know, we swear by that thing. There's no other way to go, really, in our opinion. And we got a new Gypsy for the windlass. This is what actually grips the chain. It's called a Gypsy, and ours was super worn and the chain was slipping on it. So we got a new one of those, and I'll be fixing that all up today and pulling the chain in. So I have to take it from the car, which is over there, down the dock to there, pile it up there, and then I'll drag it in with a rope at first and use the Gypsy and the windlass to pull it into the chain locker. Got that put away and get the anchor set today. So yeah, a lot of work, several weeks. Hopefully I can get it done in a month. Let's go. So of course another important thing is to know how much chain we're laying out. So now that this thing is basically brand new again, I'm marking every 10 feet, and I've just, you know, put some cardboard down and spray painted that stripe. So I'll do that every 10 feet, 2 at 50 and 3 at 100, and should be good to go. All right, look at this beautiful new rock knot, man. I'm stoked on this. This is 77 pounds, up from 50 on the old one, so a bit of an improvement, but super, super worth it. And I have my blue safety line tied to the end of the chain so it doesn't get all sucked off the dock. And then the red one goes into the anchor locker. So I'm just gonna start to pull the chain basically off the dock and let it just, some of it'll slide in the water, and that's all right. There she is. That was a chore, but man, I'm glad that's done. She looks so good up front there, all shiny. Probably not going to be like that for long, first mud bath or sand bath, but glad that's done. And I'm sweaty, it's so hot. I'm going to retire to working inside, and the next job is to work on the fridge and freezer. I got to get that stuff done so I can get those things put away and so I can have them to use. So I'm essentially just adding a bunch of like neoprene self-adhesive sheets of insulation to it, and then I have thicker ones for the side to fill in, and then I have these little fans that are really neat that I'm adding. Okay, so I'll be cutting those in and added. It's got to have some more airflow through it. That's what has to happen. So what we did on the last boat, it made a huge difference, so I'm going to do that to the freezer and to the fridge. That'll probably be the rest of my day.
All refrigeration units depend on the ability to cool the refrigerant once it heats up after passing through the cooling coils. And some units actually use seawater to cool the refrigerant, and they are particularly effective. But these units on our boat are air-cooled, and the stock airflow from the factory is absolute bare minimum. So with minimal costs and medium effort involved, we can drastically increase the airflow and thereby the efficiency of these units. One of my primary goals on the boat.
Alright, well the freezer is done and it looks good, and that will certainly help. And the next thing is I'm going to wire up these fans. They're pretty good looking, and I'm going to install these so that it helps draw the air through. And I'm going to insulate the inside of that cabinet where the freezer lives. And this is awesome, actually. This is the stuff, the foam that came with the solar panels, and I have 12 pieces of this, and it's some good foam that I'm going to repurpose and use to help the boat. So instead of it going into the landfill, it goes into the boat. And you know, we love when we don't have to throw things like that away, especially foam, and styrofoam is the worst. So yeah, good stuff.
With everything that went into this, 4 fans and 2 electric thermostats and minimal wiring, I probably only have $60 or $80 invested. Well worth it for the extended life of our equipment and the basic efficiency increase.
Yep, perfect. All right, the freezer, the freezer is done. and it looks a lot better. Definitely going to be a lot more energy efficient. I even added some heat sinks to the condenser to help dissipate that heat. And yes, I used thermal glue there. That well, it's thermal glue. That's what we're supposed to use. So the fans I added are going to be controlled by a thermometer, a control unit. So when this thing hits, like, I'll set it for 100 degrees, those fans will kick on. This thing's going to be way more efficient by insulating that and insulating the cavity back there. So we should save a lot of energy, which is always good on a boat. So it's time to get it back in and help clean this boat up. Alright, so I got the freezer completely done, and it's working exactly as it should. With that thermostatic controller, kicks on the fans when that thing heats up. So it's keeping that a lot cooler, and it should be a lot more efficient. And I have now finished the fridge insulation area. All 4 sides are now insulated. And I have the fans installed here. So there's 2 of these guys, also on a thermostatic controller, that will pump air into this cavity and pass the compressor and help keep it cool. So yeah, that was a bear of a job, but it was definitely worth it. And now to get it back in by myself, that should be fun.
I know we're way behind on our videos, and we apologize for that, and are working to catch up closer to present day. But this work here was all happening in mid-July, in Mexico, so dealing with the heat and the incredibly fierce sun was a challenge for me. And to combat this a little, I continue to work on outside projects in the morning and late evenings, and move inside and out of the blazing sun during the heat of the day.
Hello! Jeez, it's huge. Look at this. Look at all that room. Well, the sun is starting to set a bit, and the wind is still blowing, and it's actually pretty comfortable right now. So now that the engine compartments are kind of shaded, I think it's a good time to get going on changing the oils, doing all the big service that I need to do. And the main thing is pulling the injectors, because those have to get sent off to a service center. And that could take a week or 2, I think, to probably get back to me. So I'm gonna get going on that. Even though I'm not looking forward to smelling like fuel for a couple days, but definitely needs to happen. I don't want to have to worry about this down the road, so I'm going to take care of that in the evenings and work inside during the day, I guess, when the sun's really blaring. So that's next up. Oh my gosh. There we go. Supply lines. Rawr. These are the injectors right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4-cylinder motor. So 4 injectors. There is an injector. It's pretty wild. Well, all right, those are out. They're bagged. They're ready to get rebuilt. That's great. It'll take probably about a week, I guess, and then they get sent back to me. I've got a bunch of other stuff to do on these motors, but that was the most important because it takes a while to get rebuilt. So while that's happening, I can do the valve job and the oil change, all the filters, everything like that. And I have to check the elbow, the exhaust elbow, because I think it might be clogged. That happens fairly often. So I'll clean up in here, move over to the other motor, not as fun and not as easy to do because I don't have this big space to sit in, so I have to lean over the motor on that one. But at least I now know what's, you know, how to do it now. So get on to that.
This new boat has a much larger kitchen with quite a bit more counter space, yet they come with the same small mini sink that all the smaller boats are equipped with as well. So getting a slightly larger sink in was important, and next up on my list. A perfect way to get out of the sun and spend an afternoon. Or two.
Jeez Louise. Oh! There we go. That came out pretty easily, actually, and let's hope that the new one goes back in as easily as this came out. All I got to do is cut the hole there now for it and get it mounted and plumbed, so see how that goes. So that worked really well. We have a wood rim that we have to take off to get. We just have to take it off. Okay, the easy part is done. We've got the old sink out and the new cutout done. The next thing is I got to use this guy, the reciprocating saw, and we have to take out this plywood underlayment. There's 2 layers there. For this countertop to sit on, and since the sink is an undermount sink, I have to make room for the flange. So this guy is an essential tool, but it's super slow. I mean, and I have to go through 2 layers of plywood all the way around this. So I'll see you guys sometime next year. I'll get back to you when it's done. Wish me luck. Look at this mess. That was much harder than I thought it was going to be. But it's all done. It's all cut out, the cavity that I need for the rim of the sink. Man, that was tough though. Wow. I'm really glad that's over. So now I just sand the edge here and sand that edge. Clean it up, polish it, and then I think the sink's pretty much ready to go in. And since this boat goes through so much hell, all boats do, I've got these really neat brackets that mount on the side here and are gonna jack that sink up so it doesn't ever go anywhere. That's the plan. Yes, that is what I'm talking about. Look at that spray. Stop wasting water though. Whew. That's awesome though. Pretty happy. Well, that was tough, but man, it is so worth it. This is gonna be so much better, and I know Eric is gonna be super stoked. And it came with all these accessories. Drying rack up here that fits in here perfectly. Wow. Eric is gonna be stoked. And it also has a cutting board that fits right in there. How slick is that? That is amazing. Well done, you guys. Whoever made this, that is slick. Love it.